And developing now at 6, Aurora police identifying the officer who fired the shot, killing an unarmed parole absconder just last week. SWAT paramedic Paul Giroth. He's been on the force since 2006. He's never been involved in any previous police shootings, and in 2013, he was named the Tactical EMS Officer of the Year for his actions during the Aurora Theater shooting. Well, Call 7 investigator John Ferrugia first to break the news this afternoon. John, this officer's work during the theater shooting has now come into play for this investigation.
Yeah, that's right, Ann, and that is relevant because he was so involved in that case that the Arapahoe County DA George Brockler and his team knew him well enough that Brockler recused his office from investigating the case and turning it over to the Jefferson County DA. Now, in a conversation with the Aurora PD chief this afternoon, he told me Giroth has now given his official version of events to detectives, and the investigation can now move forward.
We have Mr. Van Zant's family. We have the officer and his family, and we have the city and the community as well. And my number one priority here is to ensure that we prepare a very solid, credible investigation. That's the number one priority. I understand that folks are very anxious to hear what happened, and we've been very limited about what we can share.
As protests over the shooting of an unarmed suspect continue,
we want justice.
The chief is trying to present a transparent front to a community that he doesn't know well and that doesn't know him. He has been on the job for less than 2 weeks, but has been monitoring the process closely while having to wait 6 days on the officer involved to exercise his legal rights.
That officer is offered, just like anybody else, they are offered due process rights, which means they have a right to an attorney, and they have a right to the Fifth Amendment, which protects you against self-incrimination.
Does he think the department can adequately investigate itself, or would he support an outside review of such officer-involved shootings?
If I felt there was a lack of credibility with the people who investigated officer-involved shootings, then I would support it. But as I said at the beginning of this, everything I saw from the beginning, everything I've seen since the investigation, the information that has been shared with me, I've been incredibly confident in the process.
Now that process also includes dealing with protests. And after the shooting of 2 officers in Ferguson, Missouri, the chief admits there is heightened security awareness on the street.
I think they're concerned, but I think they're also going to be very tempered in their response as well. I mean, I think they know that they don't want to be baited into anything, and they certainly don't want to do anything that's going to cause any harm.
Now, the chief also told me today that the State Department of Corrections requested Aurora PD take down this suspect because he was so dangerous. Now, this is a Department of Corrections case. Normally, its fugitive apprehension team takes care of these absconders. In this case, the chief says the DOC was not on the scene as his SWAT officers made the arrest. I'm Call 7 investigator John Ferrugia.